if I want to find the area between these two, the first thing is find out where they cross. So it looks like we want to take x to the fourth minus 2x squared and set it equal to 2x squared. When you do that, that's kind of nice. It looks like we, let's move this over and we get x to the fourth, move this over, minus 4x squared equals 0. Which, can you pull a GCF of x squared out? So you pull an x squared out, and then when you set this equal to 0, you get 0, and when you set this equal to 0, you get positive or negative 2. So you have 0, positive, and negative 2. So you have 3 points where these graphs hit. That tells you right away you have two integrals. You have two separate integrals, two different area spots you have to find. Our next step, though, when you set up your intervals, you need to find out, you have two intervals. You have, you're basically going to have two integrals. You have one from negative 2 to 2, plus the other one, negative 2 to 0, plus the other one's going to be from 0 to 2. So you have two things, you're going to add them. Got it? You just have to figure out which one's on top for each one. So let's plug in a number for this interval. Let's see. For the first one, let's see. We have, let's plug in negative 1. Negative 1 to the fourth minus 2 times negative 1 squared. And what do you get there? That looks like 2. Oh, it's negative. No. It's negative 1. So that's negative 1. And then let's also plug in 1 to that equation. Does it change anything? So 1 and negative 1 both came out with negative 1. If we go to the other equation, 2 times negative 1 squared and 2 times 1 squared, do those both come out with 2? So which one's always going to be on top? When we're at negative 1, isn't this guy on top? Isn't the purple always on top? And we're at 1, isn't the purple still on top? So the purple is this one, right? So what's going to happen is we have 2x squared minus x to the fourth minus 2x squared dx. And this is 2x squared minus x to the fourth minus 2x squared dx. Now, you want to see something that people mess up all the time? See that minus? Do you understand you're minusing the whole thing? Can you picture yourself forgetting to put parentheses here and only subtracting the first and not subtracting the second? Be very, very careful. That's the most common mistake. People do not subtract this whole quantity on both of these. Now again, why is this guy first? Because on both intervals, he's taller. He's higher. So it stayed on top for both of them. By the way, oh, never mind. Let's keep going. So we now have the integral from negative 2 to 0. And if we combine this, it looks like we get a negative x to the fourth. And when you add that, you get plus 4x squared dx. And then from 0 to 2, should that be the same equation? Okay, are we integrating the same equation? So if we're integrating the same equation, can we just bring the intervals together? I don't know. Let's just do this. When you integrate this, what's this going to be when you integrate it? Negative x to the fifth over 5 plus 4x to the third over 3. And that's from negative 2 to 0. Plus, won't this be the same answer? So can I just put ditto, but from 0 to 2? Won't this be the same equation? You're just plugging 0 to 2? Probably shouldn't put ditto. You can do that on an AP test. But anyways, can we then plug in our values, get our answer? So when you plug in 0, is it gone? When you plug in negative 2, oh man, negative 2 to the 5th is 64. Negative 32. So you got negative 32 over 5 minus, it would be minus, because that would be negative 8, negative 32 over 3. So negative 32 over 5 minus negative, wait. It's right there, right? And this one, when you plug in 2, what do you get? When you plug in 2, you got wait, this one should be positive, huh? Because that's a negative, and it becomes a negative. That becomes positive. This becomes, is this negative still? Yeah, that's a negative. This one would just be opposite. This one would be a negative 32 over 5 plus 32 over 3, negative. Okay, does that look right? This one's negative, this one's positive, this one's positive, this one's negative. And then plus 0, can I ignore the 0? So won't it basically be this right here? Which, won't these cancel and these cancel? Then I messed up somewhere.
Yeah, the 0 is 0 minus, so that's another negative. 0 minus like all of that.
Ooh, yes, this is a minus here, thank you.
Yeah.
Got it? Because it was 0 minus this, and this is minus 0.
So the original is negative, so it's still positive.
So don't we just double both of these? Meaning, okay, you have this is negative, so both these change signs. So we're going to get this, what we're going to end up with is both these change. So end up with, how do I say this? Negative 32 over 5 and negative 32 over 5. That would be negative 64 over 5. And this would be a positive and a positive, so it's a positive 64 over 3. And then we finish that. I'm going to leave it like that because I'm not going to mess with it without a calculator messing with it right now. I'm going to run out of time, but you could combine that and you'll get your answer.